Hello, hello. Um, this is a part two of the part one um, that I made, I think, a day or two ago about the Dell monitor that I took apart on this table. Unfortunately, uh, I couldn't finish it that time because once I saw what was involved, or at least what I saw initially on the what's it called, the power supply. Uh, I knew it was going to be maybe a bit more involved, so I kind of left it at that, and I didn't go too much, or at least I didn't go too far into it because it was already getting late. So I decided I'll pick up on it another time, right? So I actually off camera, I looked at it again off camera. I think yesterday or so. Yeah, it was yesterday, and um, I was looking at the power supply and trying to figure out maybe if it was really a problem that I could fix, but I don't think this one is going to get fixed, and I'm going to explain why. Well, first I'm going to get the power supply board, and I'll show it to you here. It's behind me. I'm just going to bring it here and put it on the table. Um, yeah, here we go. So this is our power supply. This is our power supply board that came out of the monitor, and I'll see if I can explain to you basically more or less what's happened, or at least what I think had happened with my infamous poking stick or teaching stick. Um, this thing has served me so many purposes you wouldn't want to believe. Um, this and a couple other pieces actually, like it came like a kit of four or five of these. Um, I don't. Oh, I know which one. Yeah. So when I bought my heat station, my heat gun, so this thing basically here, yeah. So if you can see that, oops, yeah, there you go. So my heat gun. Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm so sorry. I'm not oriented, but anyways, when I bought my hot air station, my heat gun, it came with actually a couple of nice pieces. It came with the tool itself, obviously, but it came with a couple of hand tools. I know it came with four or five of these different ones with different like tips and whatnot. So I've been using it for all kinds of different things. So yeah, it just turned out to be useful, I guess. But anywho, so as you can see, I can ramble easily, right? But um, going back to this computer monitor, um, so this is the power supply that came out of this monitor. Um, so initially, when I looked at this, I didn't even bother looking at the main board because I figured the main board was fine. Actually, I just basically jumped straight into this guy, given the symptoms that I was experiencing. So what was happening, basically, what was happening was the screen. You would power on the monitor. It would come on. You would see the picture, and then it would turn off, or at least the picture would go away. But the actual like it was still there. It's just the backlight wasn't working basically. So the thing would turn on. The picture, the full proper picture would come on, and let's say hold on. It would hold for let's say 10 seconds, and then it would go black. But I did notice that the picture was still there, just the backlight wasn't working. So then I was thinking, okay, uh, given that there's problems with the backlight, and this is not an LED monitor, this is a fluorescent style screen. I can't show you the screen because it's behind me under stuff, but basically, it doesn't have the problem that, or could I can't have the problem that let's say the new TVs that I see today have, where the backlights just basically blow the hell out, right? Um, and or not blow up, sorry, but the LED strips in the new TVs basically burn out, and they cause the TV not even to turn on, right? But it's not the case here. So this guy uses actually a fluorescent tube or a lamp, if you want to call it. It's a CCFL uh, style backlight. So it's basically just a lamp that basically runs off of this inverter circuit here on this power supply, or at least inverter, or I think maybe I should call this, I guess, a ballast, because that's usually how lamps work. You connect them to a ballast, and the ballast spits out a very high voltage, and it times it and everything so that the lamp will come on. Because the way lamps work, it's similar to even the lamp that I have here on my table. Um, it needs for a split second, it needs a very, very high voltage to energize the mercury. I guess that's what it is. It's mercury that's inside the lamp usually, so that the mercury can basically it ignites, and then it lights up. So, but you just need that very, very high voltage for a split second so that the lamp ignites and that you get a picture or the light comes on, and then afterwards you back. I guess like you back it off and you go down to a much lower voltage. But that's all controlled through um, what's called a ballast. So it could be with discrete components or whatever. Nowadays, it's usually with digital components. So digital components are involved. So, like for example, on like as the case is here. Um, so that's why I would like to call this more like a ballast, if anything. Um, but yeah, so because that's again that's the monitor that we have at least, and that's what it's using. Um, so it can't be just a question of okay, we'll replace the LEDs or anything. No, because it doesn't have that. That's what I'm trying to say. Um, so when we look at this board, I'll explain to you more or less how this board works. This is the power supply again, like I said. Um, so here, let me see if I can position this so that you guys see it. Hopefully you can see everything good. I don't know if I can zoom in. That's a good question. Let's see. Can I zoom in? You see, that would be nice because I don't actually have a camera that I can at least I could easily zoom in. I don't know actually because hmm. Let me try something. Hang on. I'm just gonna move because I have a webcam here basically. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can move this further down so that it's easier for you guys to see. Yeah, so I'm doing this live as you can see. So I'm not really focused on. Okay, you know what? That's gonna be a lot better. Okay, yeah. So you know what? For at least for this part, I'm gonna put the camera right here because now you can see this board much up close, or at least a lot better than before. So let me see. Let me position this. Is it gonna fall out? Yeah, of course it's gonna fall out. Okay, let me see if I can hold this thing down somehow. Let me think about this for a second because this is a very nice. Yeah, this is looks about right. This is where it should be at least. Um, can I wedge this with something maybe? Let me see. Let me see. I want to wedge this maybe with. You know what? Let's see if I can use my wick here. Let's see if this is going to be wedged in here. Let's see if I can wedge this in there. No, see, it's too thick actually. Darn it. Okay, so that's too thick. Um, what the hell can I wedge this in with? Let me see. If only my camera was a bit bigger, but oh well. That's what we have. That's what we're gonna deal with. That's what we're gonna work with. Because now, there you go. See, yeah. See, because the problem is this thing doesn't want to stay still. He wants to fall off, but I don't want him to fall off. Um, hmm. Yeah, no. See, that's now you're gonna be pointed towards me. You know what? I'm gonna have to do it like this. I have no choice. Okay, so let's get the power supply on there. Yeah, there you go. So unfortunately I have no real choice to do it other than like this. Yeah, I think that's okay. All right, so sorry about that. No, I just repositioned the camera so you guys can see more or less what I'm doing a bit more up close. At least this part I'm saying, because where it was a couple of seconds ago was maybe a bit too far away. So yeah, let me just make sure that this is good. Yeah, so we're okay here. Sorry about that. Anyways, so I'm still trying this whole live stuff out, So, um, anyways, yeah, back to this thing. So, um, I'll just go over this quickly, more or less how he works, because I'm gonna actually put everything back together. And like I said, this is basically part two of part one. But I don't think, yeah. So basically, I thought the problem would have been with this board. Um, but it's actually not with this power supply. This power supply is working correctly, believe it or not. So like I was saying just a couple minutes ago, my initial suspicions or thoughts was going to be with this power supply board, and it's not with the power supply board. So once again, my screen, my monitor, or this monitor, what would happen is it'll turn on, and the picture would be there for, let's say, a second or two, and then the picture goes off completely. And the only thing you see is maybe a faint. You actually still see the picture, but it's very like dim. So the backlight actually was not there, but the panel is actually working. Um, just not the backlight, like I said. So, and this is, I was just saying now, rambling on for a couple of minutes, that this is using a CFL or CCFL style backlight. It's not an LED backlight. So it's not just something as easy as saying, "Oh, I'm just going to replace the backlights." No, you can't. You cannot do that on this computer monitor. It's just not feasible. It's not possible, and for a whole bunch of other reasons. So um, that's why at first I said maybe okay, we have some electrolytics that are possibly going fubar or causing us issues. So I opened it up and got to the power supply, and when I saw it, I said, yeah, no, it's going to involve a bit more troubleshooting. So I said, okay, I'm going to come back to it again. But anyways, all that to say, I looked at it, and I'll tell you right now, basically, this board is working as it should. Um, but I figured maybe I just show you exactly how this board works. Um, so basically, you have the power supply here, or sorry, the power input, I should say. Not this is the power supply, but this is the power input. So this socket here is where your computer plugs in, basically, or sorry, your monitor plugs in. And then actually, this barrel jack is a 12-volt output that's unique for it's unique to Dell, because on this monitor you can actually have a sound bar, I guess, under your screen, and it would plug into here, and that's where it would get power from. So this it's just 12 volts, and it gets delivered here. I think this is a regulator, if I'm not mistaken. So this side, if I'm not mistaken, is the regulator that gets smoothed out by this capacitor, whatever, and then the output is right there. If I look at this, yeah, this is actually, it is a regulator, but it's not a typical regulator that I would have figured. So it's not a 7812. But anyways, so power comes in here, and then we have our main rectification over here. We got the bridge rectifier over here, and then we got our main filter cap right here. Um, and then what ends up happening is we have the primary side, which is pretty much all this stuff over here. We have two chips here that control the PWM output for these two um, transformers here, basically. And then we got I guess these are the switching MOSFETs, if I'm not mistaken. If I look at these quickly, I'll tell you right now, actually. This is okay, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, so these are going to be, yeah, so exactly. This is what I thought. So we have the two switching, or sorry, the two PWM controllers right here, and then the two MOSFETs here, the two switching MOSFETs that drive these two transformers, and then we have the low voltage side. And then what happens on this side is this transformer, one of the two, I think, this transformer is actually uh, powering or it's at least it's supplying power for the backlight circuitry. So that's what this guy is doing. And then on this guy is for the 12 volt, 5 volt, whatever it is that gets sent off to this connector onto the main board. So that's what this guy is doing here. So this is for the main board stuff, and this is for the inverter. And now the inverter, which is actually all this stuff here that you see on this power supply. So comes here, rectified, whatever. And then we have three chips here. So this is these two chips here actually. This chip here and this chip right here. These are just MOSFETs packaged in whatever this is, the DIP 8 variant, I guess. Um, and then this chip right here is the controller IC for these two MOSFETs. And then these are the two transformers, once again, that power the backlights over here. So we have this over here and we have this over here. These are the connections to the screen itself, the ballast, whatever. Um, so yeah, and then just a bunch of whatever. Okay, passive components. We got uh, filter capacitors and whatnot, and this is the main capacitor here actually for this. This is the supply capacitor, or at least the power supply, not power supply capacitor. This is the supply or filtering capacitor, I should say. Sorry, for the power rail on this guy here. So I think it's like 30 volts or something that goes through, and then it gets basically stepped up with these transformers here or whatever, and then it produces that high voltage across these outputs over here. Um, but yeah, again, so I checked everything. This power supply is working basically. So primary side, I verified everything that's obviously working correctly. The secondary side, the same thing. Um, yeah, I checked I checked most of these parts here anyways that because I checked one or two and then I figured the rest are also okay because it really doesn't look like there's anything wrong with this board, and usually my intuition is right. Um, and then I checked also here, okay, whatever the section that goes to the main board, but I know that was fine. So long story short, this board is working. And the issue then is like, okay, so if this is working, if this board is working, what's the problem with the screen, or what's the problem with this monitor then? Um, it's going to be with the display itself. So unfortunately, uh, the panel itself, what it means, it's dying, or it's dead at least. And what's happening is, and I caught it once actually when I was testing this out at the store the first time, the screen, when I was turning it on, I heard a loud high pitched, or loud high pitched buzzing noise coming from which turns out now it's this inverter section or whatever of this board. Um, so then I was like, that doesn't sound good. And usually, from my experience, I know that usually that kind of points to like panel issues or screen issues. Um, so now I was like, okay, maybe it's something on the inverter, or something on the power supply. So it might be worth the gamble to take it and fix it up and whatnot if I can. So I brought it home and tested, and I realized, yeah, okay, this thing has problems. So then that's where we came to the point where we were going to disassemble and do this basically. Um, but yeah, so now what's going to happen is I'm going to put everything back together because I'm just talking a lot now, and I'm gonna put everything back together, and I'm gonna test it again and just like show you probably on camera if you guys can see what's happening. Um, and then I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna recycle it because or return it and get my money back because I paid it. I didn't pay a lot for it, but whatever. Maybe if I get my money back and they can recycle it, whatever. Um, yeah, it might be worth it. I don't know. So let's put this thing back together, and I'll show you, like I said, on camera what's happening. So this is the power supply. I'm gonna grab another thing as well. Main board. So this is, and again, so the main board actually, I'll show you guys quickly, I guess. So this is the main board. I guess there's nothing special going on here. We have our main chip over here. Actually, is this the main chip? Yeah, this is the microprocessor over here. And then we have, I'm not sure. It says USB. Maybe this is the USB controller or something. I don't know. I'm not so sure about this one. Yeah, I think this is a USB controller or something. So it provide, this is like the bus here. Yeah, so it's the USB bus because there's two ports here and there's another two ports on this connector. So that's what this guy's for. And this is the main microprocessor for the main board. And then this is some sort of regulator. Again, once again, I'm pretty certain. Uh, Yeah, this is probably some regulator. I'm almost certain. So let's put this thing back together, and see what's going on. Again, this thing actually has also quite a few electrolytics on this board, but they're okay. That's not the problem. So yeah, let's just go ahead and put this thing back together. I see actually. I see a microcontroller on here. This is the PIC 24. This is something actually that I'm somewhat familiar with. There's a little tiny microcontroller right here. Right here. This is a little tiny microcontroller right here. Of course, you can't see because this camera is not focused. Yeah, this camera doesn't want to focus. At least doesn't focus easily. So this is the microcontroller right here. And I'm not sure what exactly it does, but it's just a microcontroller. And I know it because I've worked with these quite often or quite a bit before. So anyways, yeah, nice to know. Let me grab a couple of screwdrivers and thingamajiggies, put this thing back together because I'm going to need them. All right, so people are messaging me. Let's see. All right, yeah. So I don't see anybody watching this right now, but anyways, I'll still continue whatever. Uh, let me. I'm gonna put this thing back together now. Like I said, yeah. Let me take these screws out first. These are the screws for the power supply. So we're gonna put that. Oops, I'm gonna put that back there. I might check for one more time the voltages, but I don't think I will because I'm almost confident. Almost confident and knowing that I have a problem with the panel itself and not a problem with the power supply in this case, unfortunately. Um, Oops, yeah, and I have a couple more screws here to take out because these are for that. That's for sure. Yeah, I guess it has this thermal compound stuff. Ah, come on. Oops. Ah, and there goes the screw on the floor. Yeah, something I'm very familiar with. Things flying off on the floor. All right, so let's go ahead and put this back in. Yeah, okay, so I see how this goes back together. So this basically goes around there. And this comes in, and I forgot two other screws. This power supply connector. Yeah, this power supply connector. So that goes there. That goes there. Let's put this thing back together. Not that I tore it in a million pieces, right? Okay, so oops. Come on. Come on. There you go. Now I'll just have to get this to, yeah, there we go. There we go. Now he's sitting back in his place. Yeah, because this thing does not. Let's see, how else does this thing? Yeah, this goes like that. Yeah, that goes like that. All right, so now I'm gonna put the screws back in place like it was before. Okay, so this thing is off a bit. Let's see if I can line them up. Yeah, there you go. Let's see. There we go. There we go. Now I'm gonna do one here. Do this one here. Okay, so let me put that one. I know they're all the same, but we'll have some control over what we do exactly here. Okay, so screw this down, make it nice and tight. Same with this guy here. And then these two screws go here. That goes on the power supply or power input. I'm almost saying power supply, power input right here. That goes here. All right. Okay, so that goes there. Why is he? Of course he's being stupid thing. Come on. Why are you sitting like that? That's not the way I want you to sit. Of course, it's sitting a bit crooked, which is not what I want. Not that it matters, but there we go. That's more like it. Yeah, that's more like it. That's way more like it. No, don't go flying. My screw. I have a tendency of having tools go flying on this table. There we go. That's a lot better. Yeah, I didn't want it to sit like that. Let's put them back together now, like this. Okay, so that's that. Yeah, okay. So all the screws for that. Oh no, there's two screws missing. I need this one back. Come on. This one has to go back like so. This one goes like that. That one goes like that. Okay. Then on this side, we got two. Yeah, we got the two screws for the heat sinks. So on this side we have two screws. This you can't see. Maybe if I go like this. Yeah, there you go. So this side I have a screw here, screw here like that. Another screw like this, like that. They just basically mount to the heatsink. That. All right, so he's tightened up. Now I have to put back this main board. And before I do that, I have to actually take out these. Yeah, so I have to take out these things here. Like that. Oops. Like that. Like that. Like this. Yeah, like that. Like that. All right, so, and then this guy, let me see if I remember how this goes. Yeah, and he just flops around in the back like that. Right, okay, now, and then this guy comes in here. This, actually, you know what, this can come after the fact. That's fine. This one I have to plug in right away. Like so. Okay, got a nice click. Good, okay, so nice clicking action there. Take this guy. Take this guy. This tip is not magnetized for some reason. So I might have to get one of those things that magnetize the tips of the screwdrivers. All right, so put that there. See if I can have this sit somewhat nicely. Hopefully. Let's see, let's see. Yeah, the problem is this is, there you go. There we go. All right. So this is now back in place. Put a screw there. Put one there. Okay, I'm not going to tighten them all the way down just yet. Put them back in there. All right, because now what happens is I need to put these ones back. These are the little screws that hold the yeah, for the connectors here. I gotta put these ones back. I'm gonna put these ones back now. I'll put this one back. It's funny, actually, I don't have any comments there. So yeah, for the one person that's watching this, if you want to say hello, please do so. You can type it in the chat because I don't see anything. I don't see much on my screen here. I just see that there's one person watching, and I have a chat box, and I see sometimes who is writing what. Okay, that's good. So yeah, if you want to say hello, feel free to say hello. So now we're screwing this back in. If you look here, you see? Yeah, there you go. So now I'm screwing this back in. It doesn't have to be extremely tight, just as long as they're in there. I might tighten down just a bit, actually, just for my sake. And I used this tool from last time. This is a tool from Klein Tools. No, sorry, Softwire. Oh my God, I'm very sorry. From Softwire. And it's basically a nut driver with different sized, I guess, nuts on there. And you can change it and take out the pieces and whatnot. It's a pretty clever tool, I think. So I have it on. This is the, but this is not metric. This is all imperial. This is a 3/16 socket, a hex socket that goes back in here, and I can even put a wrench on here if I ever need more leverage or whatever. So nice to have. Okay, he's tightened. Oops. And this one also. Yeah. Like that. All right, so that's done. I'll put them back because I won't need them for the time being. Okay, so now I have to reconnect. Yeah, so this is the USB port right here. I have to reconnect this guy here. Yeah, like that, like so. Yeah, okay, good. So that's back together. As you can see, we put all that back together um, with the two boards. They're back in. So that's how that's supposed to look like. Now I'm gonna get the screen. Oh, I actually have to tighten these down. Forgot almost to tighten these down. Almost forgot to tighten these down. That would have been fun. That would not have been fun. So let me put that there. Oops. Try not to strip the screws. All right, so here we go. Now I have to get the screen because the screen actually is going to come back on. So let me grab that now. Second. Yeah, it's behind me here. On top of all this other stuff. Here we go. So this is the screen. So this is the screen I was talking about. Um, it's not cracked. It's not broken. It's just that the backlight that's inside the screen is basically dead. And believe it or not, even though this is a Dell screen, if you look very closely, that's a Samsung sticker. So the panel was made by Samsung, and they actually, in this period of time, they made actually pretty good displays, if you ask me, or at least pretty good panels. So this is no exception. So this is from Samsung. So this is unlike from what I've said in previous videos. This is not a Samsung product. This is a Samsung product because this was actually a nice screen. I will say that. Um, yeah, it says made in China or whatever. Yeah, it says here, right here. So you can't see it, but right here at the bottom it says high voltage. Right there, that stamping right there. I'll read it for you. It says high voltage caution. Risk of electric shock. Disconnect the electric powers before service. Yeah, this cover contains fluorescent lamps. Please follow local ordinances or regulations for its disposal. And that's exactly what I was saying before. So, because this guy actually has a mercury, this is a mercury lamp inside here, and that's the backlight for this thing. But unfortunately, uh, it's almost dead, I guess. And I'll power it on, and I'll show you guys why. Um, yeah, so we're gonna put it back together now. Because like I said, I have to be careful when I ramble, because then if I ramble for too long, I get sidetracked. Maybe you might have noticed that. I don't know. Let me just put that to the side for a second. Now I'm just going to clean this, make sure there's nothing in the way. So here's our panel. This is our panel from Samsung, not Scamsung. This is a good. This was when it's working. I can say because I've seen these. I have one actually in my garage, or the garage as they say, working. Slightly different model, but same design more or less. And I will say the picture is very nice. Not a 4K screen or anything like that, but it's still a very nice picture, if you ask me, in my opinion. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so let's see if I can bring this guy. How would we do this? Because I have to remember how this goes in. Yeah, so this goes like this. Yeah, so we have to lay this down, and that's the LVDS connector. Then we got to bring him like this. Yeah, here we go. So this is how this thing is connected. So I got to plug this back in first. Yeah, here you go. Okay, so I think that's connected back in there now. Oops. Yeah, I'm pretty certain that's connected back in there. Yeah, so he's back in there now. Yeah, so he's back in there now. Now we have to feed. This is the ballast, the connection to the ballast. So now I got to feed this through, like so. Oops. Yeah, so because this could be a bit finicky, unfortunately. Come on, go through. Yes, there you go. So that's the connection to the ballast for that one at least. Now I have to come slowly lower this one, and this is the one for this guy. Here we go. I don't know. I don't think the order matters, to be honest with you. Okay, here we go. So let me bring that down, and let's lay that down like that. Lay that down like that. Okay, so and that should be, yeah, that should be it more or less. Let's see. Yeah, that goes there like that. That goes there like that. Nice. Okay, so let me screw that back on right now. So here we go. So the backing cover is on there. Yeah, so I'm gonna put this on there like so. Yeah, so like so. So he's on there. And then let me do this side. Like this. Like that. Oops. Like so. Come on. Like so. Like so. Okay. Now turn it again. Like so. So I'm just putting this back together, like I said. Putting the screws back in. Yeah, that's tightened. That's tightened. It's tightened. That's tightened. Okay, so now I'm going to connect the ballast. So here are the connectors for the ballast. There's one here, like I said, and then this is the other one right here. So I'm just going to reconnect this by just plugging this back in, just like so. Yeah, just like so. Okay, heard the click. That's good. Heard the click. Yeah, click. Yeah, that's back in. So that's back in. So now I'm gonna come here. It's a little. This is funny because this one has a cover and the other one doesn't. Not sure why. So we're gonna. Oops. Just plug them back in like so. If I can get to them. Come on. There you go. There's no need to be scared. Going back where you were before. Plug that back in. Okay, so yeah, there we go. Now we just put this back on like that. Not sure again why this one has it on this side and not on the other side. That's a good question. Okay, so that's good. All right, so it's more or less back together, believe it or not. So again, here are the backlight connectors. There's one right there, and then there's one right there, as you can see. So that's where the lamp connects here and here on the bottom over here. Now I'm going to get the rest of the screen because I have to kind of put it back in there. So let me take this off like that. These are just the screws that I had laying around there freely. So let's put them back in there like so. And let me grab the casing now. That's important. So that's this casing that comes with this thing. So let me grab that stuff. Yeah, so here's the casing where this thing sits in. So I need this because this is the first thing actually that I have to put back on. Um, yeah, so let's grab this. Let me hold this like so. Put this in there. Yeah, and then I have to. Uh, Actually, let me think about this for a second because this is gonna go in there like that, basically. Um, Let me think about this because I don't quite remember. Because yeah, let me put this here for a second. Actually, yeah, let me grab this piece first. Actually, this is the yeah, that's the this is the one that has all the buttons and whatnot on there. Yeah, so and this will have to go like this. Yeah, like so. So he goes in there just like so. Yeah, so nice and snug. Then I grab this guy because he comes here under this. Yeah, this I took obviously the not the glue, but I guess wherever the yeah, I guess maybe the glue, right? I took that off, taking this thing apart, right? So that goes like that, like so. And now I have to put them back in this connector here. Yeah, so let's make sure that stays in there. I don't want this to be dirty. Are you serious? I took this out again? Huh, I did, I guess. Yeah, okay, here we go. Now we're gonna put this in there. Yeah, like that. Just rock this back and forth. And that's gonna go back in. Yeah, that's back in. All right, so now actually that it's like this, I can actually hmm, I can actually try turning this on like this. So let me show you guys. At least let me see if I can show you what happened. Uh, Basically before. So we'll plug this in like so. Come here. Oops. Yeah. So we're gonna plug this in here. All right. So let's see if I can show you guys what happened with this thing when I tried to turn this on. Yeah, here we go. So here's our screen. All right. So there's the screen. Let me see if I can. Yes, this is where I kind of want a wide angle lens. So let me turn this light off actually, and maybe you might be able to see it happen in real time. So let me see if you guys can see that. I'm gonna turn this light off too. All right, so I'm trying to turn the lights off so that you can see here. So I'm gonna turn this on. Yeah, yeah, and it just happened again. So it tried to turn on the backlight. Yeah, here we go. And the picture dies, as you can see. But if I look at this carefully enough, um, I think, yeah, because if I look at this closely enough, I do believe. Yeah, let me grab my phone actually. Oops. Yes, that's why I don't want this to break on me now. Yeah. So you see the picture comes, and then it goes. It doesn't stay. Oops. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can shine a light here. I'm almost certain. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so exactly what I thought. You can't see this, but right now I'm shining my light on the screen, and I do see the picture with my phone light, but the backlight is not on right now. So this confirms that there is an issue with this panel. Once again, I'll turn it off and I'll show you again. So let me do it like this. So I'll turn it off. Okay, now it's turned off. Turn it on. There you go. Yeah, see? And you can't hear it, but there's a very loud or high pitched um, buzzing noise coming from the panel, which again is telling me that the inverter, the power supply, is actually trying to turn on the screen, but it's shutting down because it's detecting a fault with the lamp, and unfortunately you can't fix the screen. I'm talking about the screen itself, because the screen itself, since it has no serviceable parts, like you literally cannot fix it other than opening it and destroying it. Um, the only way you would fix this is you would have to have another screen and then swap that screen from there to put on this one. And at that point, you might as well just keep that one if it's working, um, because it's not worth the hassle doing this. So again, I'll turn this off, turn it on. There you go, picture, and it's gonna come off. There you go. Exactly what I suspect. Because what happens is, and now if I see now I'm shining my light. Um, I'm gonna see if I can find the menu, because I did see it before. Because now the menu is basically dancing around. So that's the trick with these. Once you shine a light kind of through the screen, you can see because it's on right now. Just the backlight is off. Here, hang on. See, it's tricky when it's laying down. That's the funny thing. When I have it standing up, I can find this screen logo. Yeah, it's right here. See, so it's in the corner right now. So if I try to show you guys, you won't see this on camera, but it's right now here at the bottom. Yeah. So I don't know if you can see this. Yeah, I know you can't see it, but because there's too much glare on this screen. But it's actually that logo that you saw there before is here, and it's going around and bumping around the corners. Um, yeah. See, so yeah, it's saying no signal attach, cable, whatever. So like I said, the panel itself is working, but the backlight is not, and it's not a problem with the power supply. It's a problem with this display itself. So this you cannot fix. So I'll turn it off and power it again just to show you guys. Yeah, there you go. So and I hear the inverter board trying to turn on the backlight, or trying to power on the backlight, but it's shutting down as a safety precaution because it detects a fault with the backlight, and that's why this one will not be repaired. Um, Unfortunately, there's not much that we can do with this one. Um, yeah, unfortunately, this one there's not much that we can do because of that. So I'm probably going to recycle it or return it from where I bought it. Um, Maybe get something else with that money instead. Um, but I'm going to put now the rest of this thing back together. I just confirmed it that, yeah, it's the case. So it's not a problem with the power supply again. It's really with the screen itself. So unfortunately, there's not much that you can do with that. Um, Again, what's the fix? You would either need another screen like this to swap the panel, whatever, over, uh, or you would buy a new one. Basically, just buy a new monitor at that point, because unfortunately, there's not much you can do when it's in this state. Um, so yeah, so again, I'll power it off, reduce the glare here above me, power it on, and it's gonna come off in a second. There you go. So, but it's actually not off. It's just that menu that you saw a second ago. It's still here because once you shine a light on the screen, when you shine a light up close to the screen, you will see that menu going around, the corners and everything. It's just the backlight's not on right now. Um, so yeah, unfortunately, not much we can do. So let's go ahead and turn that off. I'm going to go ahead and flip this upside down. So I'm going to go ahead, flip it upside down, take this cord, throw it on the floor. So now I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and put this piece back on because it goes, and he snaps into place basically. So he goes like this. Yeah, he goes like this, but this guy really snaps into place here. Let's see if I can get that to go. Yeah, there you go. Snap, snap, snap. Yeah, there you go. So that snaps into place like so. I'm just going to check the corners just to make sure that this is sitting in there properly. And what I can see it is. Oops, not. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah. You're doing okay there?
Yeah.
Can I just borrow this?
Yeah, sure. Go for it. Hey, go. Don't bother. You need a Phillips there?
No, it's just a little pin. Oh, here.
You want a poking thing here? Oh. If you want
There's a little screwdriver.
You want a
No,
poking
I have
thing?
an idea. I used that little screwdriver. Okay.
Go for it. Be my guest. It's not a problem with me.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna put these pieces back on. Yeah, let me just turn that off. Close the door for a second. So I'm gonna put that because this thing, for the life of me, I guess I didn't put it back properly. But it's like, yeah, again, I just wasn't so clear to me how this can go back in there. There you go. Once again, it's just all plastic. Yeah, there you go. And it's like nobody's ever been in there before. So that's one side done. Now we're gonna go to the other side. Same thing. Yeah, same thing. Oops. Yeah. Yeah, these are really nice monitors in my opinion. It's just a shame this one has a bad panel, so there's not much that I can do there. Yeah, it's a shame because this would have been really nice for my garage, but again, yes, you can't save them all. So if only it was that easy, right? They're really nice monitors. I mean, seriously. It's the first one I see with the actual panel failure. That's the funny thing, also. So let me put this here. Actually, you know what? Once again, I'll just show you guys one more time what's happening with this thing. I'll show you what's happening with this thing, you guys. So we're gonna plug that in. So now we're gonna go like this. So now once again, we're gonna do what we were doing a second ago here. So hopefully you can see. So here in this corner, that's the power light or the power status indicator. I'm gonna turn that off. On. Yeah. See? And now it actually turns off right away. So it doesn't even want to stay on. Yeah, okay, it tried to come on again just now. Yeah, unfortunately, this thing has issues with the backlight. Um, we can't. We just can't save it. This will not work, unfortunately. Because I hear that buzzing noise also. So uh, I think this one we're gonna, like I said, I'm gonna either return it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I hear that buzzing noise, a high pitched buzzing noise. Um, so there's not much we can do, guys. Not much that we can do. Yeah, there you go. So I think we're gonna leave it at that. Yeah, there's not much that we can do, guys. Not on this one. Not on this one. So we're gonna put that there. I'll put that there. I'm gonna get the stand back on here. So that's this. Forgot to put the screws there. There's the 2 screws or the 4 screws that go here. I'm gonna put that back on here. Like so. Like so. Like so. Like so. Like so. All right, so 4 screws are back on there. Here we have the stand. Yeah, like so. Click. That's on there. And there's our screen. All back together. So once again, unfortunately, this one won't be saved. There's not much that we can do here. Okay, so let me put this off to the side now. Now that he's done. Yeah, because my room is a little bit of a mess, so I wanted to put this thing back together anyways to not make too much of a mess. So let me put this back together now, like so. All right, so put that there. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna leave it at that for now. It's been already an hour, and I don't want to bore the hell out of you guys. So let me just put this back here. Yeah, put that back there. All right, so we're gonna turn them on. Okay, so it's already been an hour, guys. I think I might leave it at that for now. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it at that for now. Let me just close this here. I keep getting these messages here. No, thank you. All right, yeah. So it's already been an hour. So, like I said, unfortunately, there's not much that we can do on this one. We tried to fix it, but again, the problem is not with the power supply board. It's going to be with the panel itself. Yeah, again, it's a shame. There's not much we can do again, like I said. So maybe I do it, but I will say this: I actually, from the same time that I bought that screen, I'll give you a little heads up. I have another screen that I picked up as well, not like this one, another one, a bigger one actually. Um, and he doesn't have the same problem as this one. I think he's not turning on at all. But it could very well be that it's again a backlight related issue. I don't know. That one I think has LED backlights. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to tear into it to figure out what the hell is wrong with him. Um, from what I see though on that one, my assumption again will be the power supply at least because well that one really my assumption will be for sure something with the power supply or related to the power supply because it's not turning on at all. It's no standby and nothing. So um, I might do it again today. I don't know this live. I'll see. Maybe I might do another live and I'll show you guys him and I'll show you what I can do with him, or at least I can try to show you guys if I can fix it. Maybe, I don't know. But I'm gonna leave it at that for today, or at least for now. Maybe I'll come back on later today because I have some other stuff to do. Um, yeah. So if you guys like the video, or if you like this live, please consider subscribing. Um, Comment, the same stuff as always. Uh, and yeah, stay tuned, and hopefully hopefully the next live I don't have only 3 people watching, because it's funny, the other couple of lives I did, I had a couple hundred people watch, but for some reason the last 2 I didn't have so many. uh, Anyways, I'll leave it at that. Yeah, I'll leave it at that, and yeah, stay tuned. Maybe I might do another one today with the other screen and taking it apart and whatnot. So until then, stay safe, guys. I'll cut it here. I have my mouse on the side here. I'll cut the stream. Yeah. All right, guys. Take care. Bye bye.